rolling. Dakota, you rolling? Okay. Episode 7. Morgan. Mo Mamoski. Is it Miss Mamoski? Mamoski? I apologize if I didn't nail that. You go by many aliases.
Hold on, let's pause.
Why?
I'm going to restart this. It didn't work. Hold on.
Take your time. Well, she's trying to go live. She's trying to put pressure on me.
Nah.
This is recorded. She's trying to go live. The good thing is none of this has to get used, although we do not edit it. We can, but we kind of like the mistakes. You know, that's kind of how I made my career was people making mistakes, and I just kind of accentuate those mistakes, and it always, I don't know, I like to go for funny shit, you know. I like to be real.
Yeah.
The only way I could do this, I had to have a conversation with myself. Because I notice when people get in front of a camera, they become a character, right? Like any Hollywood movie star, is they create a character because they don't want to be themselves. That's why I like John Cusack so much. I feel like he is who he is on and off camera.
Yeah.
But other people create an insecure version of themselves, and it's hard to freaking watch.
Yeah.
So
That makes sense.
to be myself, that was what I was trying to shoot for, and I think I'm kind of nailing it.
Yeah.
At least people, that's all the feedback I get.
Good.
So we're going to start off
right.
live. My God. I want to talk about...
Nobody's watching. So.
That's fine. No, I'm cool with it.
Okay.
I had... Okay, so Mo, what would you rather me call you? Morgan or Mo?
Either one.
Really?
I have so many nicknames.
Let's go through them real quick.
Mo, Momoski, Morgan.
Okay, that's the 3 I named off.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, we're on the same page. That's
Cool.
how I know you. So you invited me because I knew you were doing this painting, sip and paint. Is that what we call it?
Paint and drink.
Paint and drink, not
Paint
sip
and
and paint. So last week's episode, if you've seen it yet, I talk about you and my experience, but I didn't want to go into it because I didn't want to ruin it. I had the best time.
Good.
It was one of the most therapeutic things I've ever done, and I realized what you were doing for the community. Mm-hmm. Like you may have inspired the next Picasso, and it may be me. I'm not sure.
Hey.
We're gonna find out. Hey, hand me that painting, please. So don't laugh, okay?
No, he did good. I got to show it in front of everyone too.
I wasn't expecting that either, but I learned enough about photography and cinematography. I just thought, if I ever got a chance to paint something, could I force that into a translation? Like, could I pull it off? Don't think you're going to see anything too crazy. I'm not going to build it up too much. But as I was messing up, and this is, I think, why I would love to go into it. And if you've got some ideas, we haven't even discussed what we're going to talk about. I mean, I kind of text like, yeah, I want to talk about one little thing, which will be part of this, I guess. What was I saying? I was saying that I was trying to think of like all the mistakes I was making. Mm-hmm. I thought, I fucked it up. And then I realized I could just smear some shit together and, I got it. That tombstone is gone.
Yeah.
So what she does is drink and paint.
Yeah.
Eat.
Paint.
Whatever.
Yeah.
It's really, really cool. And
Live music.
Yes, it's incredible. It's a whole thing.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother thing I would love to get into is the support that you've built. Like, these are things that I was imagining when I was sitting there. I was thinking, wow, like, you're not on your own.
No, it takes a whole team.
Well, I think you're part of their team as well. I would imagine whatever they got going on, you're involved.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, you're behind the camera if you need to be. Mm-hmm. I was just inspired by that. Just seeing. Well, I realized that's what it takes. I mean, is to have a shared goal and everybody's in support, and that's a whole conversation. I hope we can kind of find our way back to.
Yeah.
But so my painting emulate. My goal was, the only thing I texted her was, we were talking about talking points. I was like, I want to talk about emulate until you innovate. Like, I know if I've ever had a conversation with you, I was trying to pick your brain about art.
Yes.
Like, I just want to take the mystery out of things for people. Mm-hmm. I see life as a magic show, and there's all these little magic tricks. And I try to dissect the tricks and say, oh, this is how it's done.
Right.
All you got to do is practice now.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. But it's possible for anybody to accomplish anything. And yes, you too could do this good.
See, he did good.
on your first attempt. I'm really proud of it. And when you showed it, I hadn't made my moon yet.
Yeah.
I was so proud of this because I was the first thing I seen was I have to have depth.
Yes.
Because as a photographer, depth of field is very important. You know, it's what tells a story. It takes you off into the distance. And then I messed up on my tree, which made it perfect because it forced me to like overlay and create more depth.
Yeah, I see
So
that.
I was emulating what you had created until I innovated and made something completely by accident. I just embraced it and just kept finding. I need to practice the tools.
Yep.
What do you think?
I give you the tools,
You gave me the tools.
and I gave you the direction,
You did great.
and everyone's painting looks different.
Everyone's painting looks different. There's
Everyone's.
a photo. I think mine looks the best. Just
Right,
kidding.
yours look the best.
No, I don't know about that, but I am super proud of it. I got to tell you, everybody that's come over, I'm like, this is my first painting.
Yeah, it looks good.
I never in a million years imagined it would look anything like that. What it told me was, there's hope. I knew it looks like a child did it, you know, an advanced child. I'm not going to give them too much credit, but I love it. That's one of the most proudest things I've ever made. So, gloat.
Yeah.
But I have to give you all the credit. I think I just had a great teacher.
Nice. Well, I gave you all the tools, and then
You
you
did?
did it.
Yeah. Now I just have to come back and do it more.
Yes. So we're gonna be there every Monday. now.
Every Monday.
Every Monday.
Bar Louie.
Bar Louie.
Only Bar Louie.
So far, as of now.
Do you want to expand that?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh, well, let's do it then.
Yeah, I actually want to do like Bar Louie tours. That's my.
Oh, so
have
you
a
want
lot
to be associated with Bar Louie, and that's
I want to go
really
on a
cool.
tour. I want to have all the paint classes at Bar Louie's,
Yeah.
and then the DJ comes
Exclusive.
with me, and then we just hit city to city to city.
You've already built the prototype,
Yeah, I've already did the research.
so you figured out how to scale it.
Yeah,
That's the hardest part. That's a whole nother conversation that I was
mean,
wanting to talk about.
yeah. I can go to. I feel like I could go to any restaurant and kind of like do the sales pitch and try to get it in there if they do events and stuff like that.
Are you just wanting to do Bar Louie for a loyalty thing to like be loyal?
I just really like the atmosphere, and
Yeah.
they have a lot of trust in me.
I love it. I think
yeah.
it's genius. I was already thinking about some other places. I was like thinking about pitching. I was like, this would be a really good place here, but I'm going to keep my
know.
mouth shut.
It would be some like the goat.
Yeah, well, that was one of the first places I thought about. Yeah.
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 Yep.
Okay. Well, I think it's amazing. I just love that entrepreneur spirit. People think of me as an artist. I'm an entrepreneur that figured out how to use a camera and make money with it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And I'm very obsessed about. I don't know. If anybody knows me, and they're going to get tired of hearing this. It's the why. I just keep digging with that why, and I just try to master the trick. I just keep practicing that trick until I don't know.
Gets
one
better.
day, one day, I don't know. I'm kind of worried that art may be my next hobby.
Oh.
Well, this is my next hobby. I'm doing
Podcast?
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I needed something creative. I haven't put out anything fun and creative in a long time. It became money.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it became my full-time job making videos for other people, and which was always the thing, but there was an artistic element to it.
Yeah, I totally understand that.
But I couldn't scale it.
Yeah,
You can't scale art.
you can.
Is it? Well, in your case, you can.
Yeah, you can get higher clientele.
Okay.
Then you scale it that way. And my very first portraits, nothing compared to my portraits now. Yeah.
Okay, so if you ever go to my YouTube channel,
Yeah.
I'm so glad you said that.
Mm-hmm.
This is something I say a lot, and that's why I say emulate to innovate.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see all the emulated art, the shit that got through in the trash can,
Oh yeah.
the songs that no one ever heard.
Yeah.
Because all we see is the star, the viral success, and we think, we can't do that.
Yep.
That's too big. Which is the whole reason I want to do this podcast. My podcast is about exploring ideas, but it's also about being vulnerable and talking about all my failures.
Yeah.
Because I see all these people in their 60s write their memoirs and talk about, people, I look at it like this. Someone admires you. It may be your kids, it may be your relatives, whatever, but someone admires you. And we all keep our hidden secrets. We all keep our failures to ourselves. Mm-hmm. And as we get older, we shed our insecurities and we start to share them. But I thought, what if we just did that? What if we got in the habit of sharing the things that scare us most when we're young, when people can relate to it?
Yep.
So that's the whole point of this podcast.
Nice.
Let's talk about scary shit.
Yeah.
My failures.
Yeah.
You don't have to talk about yours.
Okay. I got a lot of failures too, but it led to a lot of success.
Well, how can people access all your failures?
What do you mean?
Well, okay, so if you go to my YouTube channel, you can go back to the original video, which is what I do to everyone's YouTube channel. I want to see what they're made of.
Yeah.
I see the good shit. They got 5 million subs. I don't give a shit. First thing I do is click oldest video first.
Oh, interesting.
Right? The one that has 7 views.
Yeah.
And I want to see how bad they sucked.
And then compare it to how good they are.
Yeah, well, or to give me hope that I have something to strive for. Like, I always think, well, I can suck that bad too.
Yeah.
And what their gift is hard work, dedication, not talent. Like, their talent was hard work, not so much. I know that people have people have their own creative things. Some people are just really fucking gifted. He's gifted in music. He didn't even really try. It was just, he spent a lot of work, but it was something that came natural for him. For me to do what he does, no, not even possible. But most people, I think, are normal like me, and just a little bit of hard work can get them a long way.
Yeah, that's true.
So I think that's what I'm trying to do is say, a lot of people say, well, how did you do this? How do you do this for a living? Well, shit.
You just figured it out.
Yeah, I just jumped in over my head every time.
Yeah.
So did you have anything? Because I don't want to dominate the podcast. And I don't know if you expected to get quizzed.
Quiz. What kind of quizzes?
Well, I think I wanted to expose you in the way that people would look up to you and say, wow, she's an incredible artist. I mean, look at my art. Go from picture to picture there for a second. I mean, that's my art, and you made it for me, from a concept, from an idea. Just, we bullshitted one day about this, and you drawing some shit out on a napkin. The next thing I know,
it's here.
It's here, and there's so much behind it. There's so much thought, and it's like a cornerstone of my life. This one, I just fucking loved it. It was a photo that I loved, and I can't play guitar, but I think about people like him, and it still applies. I think about people like him that hit his first strings, and it sounded like shit, but he emulated somebody he admired until he accidentally hit some string that was like, oh, that's Pink Floyd. And he created this sound. And I feel like it's totally by accident. I think our best art is discovered, not created.
Yeah, true.
What do you think about that?
Yeah, that's true.
It was like a brushstroke, and it revealed this.
I mean, that's what that is.
Yeah.
It's just like,
You just kept dicking with it.
I know.
It's incredible. You know his face? It blows me away, his face. I love it.
All the shapes.
You're proud of it. I'm happy.
Good.
Well, like I said, I don't want to dominate this conversation. So if there's anything that you had in your mind, I really only wanted to start off with my painting. And it had to be about me in the beginning because I was super proud of it. But I wanted to give you all the credit too.
Yeah, that's a good painting.
Well, thank you. I was very honored when you picked it up, and you didn't give me time to think about it. So I didn't have time to be embarrassed. I was like, oh, shit, she's showing mine. But then I seen a lot of others, and I said, oh, I did actually really well.
I know. Yeah.
I was invested into that project.
Yeah, it's the music, the everything, the whole atmosphere.
Yeah, I think it's going to be something. I don't know if I'll do it every week because days are limited.
That's a lot for a person to do every week.
You may have to do some exclusive classes for the higher clientele. You know, the more gifted.
Yeah.
For me, just kidding. But yeah, I was thinking about getting the whole gang. I got a bunch of buddies. I thought this would be fun to do as a party.
Yeah.
Just come up here, and I mean, by the time we get done, it'll look like finger paint.
No, nah.
Well, I just know us.
I'll guide it, and then it'll just.
You think so?
Yeah.
Well, I know us. We like to drink.
Yeah, that's better. That means
You
your
think so?
painting's gonna be better. Yeah.
Well,
You
I
trust
drink quite a bit.
yourself more.
You think so?
Yeah.
You embrace it.
Yeah. If you mess up, it's because maybe you drank too much, and then it looks better.
Oh, you say you have something to blame.
No, but I do drink whenever I paint.
I think, I drink when I edit.
Yeah, it gives me like relaxing, gets me in my zone.
Yeah, well, it shuts my brain down and just lets me be a part of what's happening because I listen to music. When I edit a really...
Me too. I listen to music all the time, like painting.
Yeah. Yeah, people think of me as this... When people told me I was an artist, I was like, I'm not an artist. Never associated myself with an artist. I would tell them I'm getting lucky. Like, my videos are lucky. And I don't even know if you've ever seen any of my artistic work. It's all like corporate. Actually, I don't even post anything now.
Yeah, it's like You did music videos.
Yep.
Yep, I remember. That's whenever I was at Toots.
Yep.
And we would, share them.
Yeah, you do music videos. That's
Yeah,
something
I
I'd
do
like to
music
get into. You guys are into a little bit of everything.
We're into everything.
And that's when, maybe we can just run right into that.
Yeah.
The support, you and your husband, and the team you have around you. I truly just admired it. And I have a support team. My family helps me, you know?
Yeah.
But it seems like you're on another level. Like you guys just, I mean, I got to pay everybody around me. How do you get away with it?
Hey, I pay people as well.
Okay.
I pay people as well.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, they support me. They don't, I'm one of those guys that just feel guilty and I want to pay.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I pay them for everything, but you know, hey, if I'm making money, they can make money.
Yeah, I support. So if that's your craft and you charge X amount of money, I'll pay X amount of money for you to be here. And of course,
cool.
that brings more people in.
You built a team.
Built a team.
That's awesome. I love it. You're a little entrepreneur.
I am.
Well, me too. I mean, I'm telling you, that's my gift. So
it's hard work, but it's rewarding.
Yeah.
It's very hard work.
It's actually the most miserable thing I've ever done.
Yeah, it's
Well, I think of that painting. So my soon-to-be daughter-in-law, son's girlfriend, is an artist as well. She's done these sip and paints. Is that correct? She graduated art school. I think she's going to Disney to do some stuff there.
Oh, nice.
That's kind of her passion is Disney. She went into art just for Disney. But then, you know.
I've heard there's a lot of jobs at Disney. Yeah,
for young talent. I don't know about now. I think they've kind of shut everything down because of COVID. But I don't know. But so my podcast, my logo is that. Like the actual art is yin and yang. It's all about balance. And then I love the tree of life. Anyway, she painted it for me, and I can use it for 1,000 examples of why your life sucks or how your life gets better. It's a really cool concept if you've ever studied yin and yang.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Okay. Why did I tell you that? I was telling you that. What was we talking about to make me going down that road? Because it was obviously important to that painting. Dakota, where were we at? Was you listening? Are you paying attention? His job is to remind me where I was. He's a placeholder.
You were talking about,
Jesus. Now I really don't remember. I might have got back there. Okay, so we're going to go back up. We were talking about you, your friend's success. I was paying people. You're paying people.
But if you, So I do like to pay people. But if you do it for free, then I feel like the
miserable.
quality. Oh, and miserable.
We're miserable.
Yes, we are.
Okay, I think I figured it out. I think I know why artists are so miserable.
Why?
It's that hit, that drug of acceptance, that serotonin and dopamine and all these amazing things that when people like what you do, you know what I mean? It can put you up here really high.
Whenever I do paint classes, I feel like, and then the next day, I'm very drained.
Yes, the lows are low.
I'm very drained. I feel like I'm just like giving all this energy and just and like and then I receive
exhausting.
So much energy and then I go home and I'm on this like just feels great and then everyone's posting pictures and comments and everything's just all coming in at once and then the next day I'm like, ooh, I don't want to talk to nobody.
Exactly. Well,
nobody talked to me today.
Well, it's why I haven't tried to grow a social media presence because I realized how dangerous it was when I started.
Very important.
It is very important.
It's very important.
If you want to do something sustainable, if you really want to grow up, because of the way the algorithms are designed, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, they make money. Even though it's free, they make money.
Yes.
And they make money. Well, I'm not going to get into all that, but it requires, you can pay to let people see it, or you can grind.
Yes.
And
that's where consistency
is
in. And even some days you may make a post and then the next day you got to make another. Like
right now you're grinding.
Yeah.
You are grinding.
What up, live?
Jeez. She's doing great, ain't she?
It's very consistent.
And we're just getting started.
You got to show people behind the scenes.
Yep.
You got to show people. You got to show them all.
Well, I will be terrible at growing an audience.
Hey, it took me a while. But
I know.
Yeah.
You have I was like intimidated. Like, Jesus, she's got a hell of a following. But I knew what it took to get there. Like, I know what it takes. And I'm thinking, like I told Dakota, like I've been dwelling on these. We need to talk about this one day. Maybe if you ever want to do another podcast, I dwell on things and I try to understand. And I was thinking about judgment, and I don't really want to go into it now, but I've spent like 2 weeks on the concept of judgment, and I kind of overcame it worrying about people's judging you, I kind of overcame it, and I posted on Facebook. So I've been building a small catalog to do this because I didn't want to make something and put it out and then nobody has anything to watch. If somebody liked it, there wouldn't be anything more that would piss me off more than to not have anything else to watch. So 6 episodes in, 7 up. I don't even fucking know at this point. Is profanity okay with you?
Yeah, I don't care.
Okay, good. It's how we. Never mind. I'm not going to get into that. But I told him when I posted on Facebook, I created the Facebook page, or he did actually, and we released it. And then I told him, I said, I don't want to look at it. Not for the bad reviews, for the good ones. I don't want those highs. As good as they feel, the lows fucking suck.
Yeah, but you got to manifest it.
Well, manifest it. Oh, God, that's a concept. Speak it into existence is what I call manifesting.
I manifest a lot.
Well, I do too. I manifest everything I do.
Yeah, and then once it's there, you're like, all right, and then you have more manifestations, and then it just... So you don't really
You're still growing.
You don't really focus on the lows because not every day is going to be a good day.
It's not the lows that worry me. It's the fucking highs.
Oh.
Yeah, because the highs, once you come off that, like that's why I won't do a drug. That's why I will not do a drug that would, like I talk about methamphetamines, cocaine, all these drugs that would release all these dopamine, all your hormones, all the chemicals that you got in your brain because they bring you down low. And I thought, no, I can't handle that. Like just likes on Facebook is enough to release those things. And we know it's bad. Like I've done the research. If you pay attention at all, there's something unhealthy about likes. So when you don't get them, you think, what have I done wrong? Well, it's Facebook fucking you. It's Facebook not showing it to people. So it's not you. Yeah. It's Facebook forcing you to generate ads that they can run ads on. And it's a trick that they figured out, and it scares me.
Well, you got to have the marketing tricks.
Well, yes, which is why I'm building a team behind me, and I have a handful of people that believe in this project. They want to be a part of this project, and they're letting. So my purpose is find incredible guests like you and bullshit with them. Nice. After that, I don't really have to be so much hands-on. That's the goal, anyways. Yeah. Now, whether or not it grows from that, I don't know. Working with people like you, we grow together. That's the secret. Yeah, for sure. I just don't want to do the likes. I don't want to read the comments.
Why
I don't
not?
want to.
You got to reply back to people.
I know.
Those people.
I know.
Like it.
I suck.
I've always learned that your first.
I'm the worst social media person ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm terrible.
I learned your first followings. You should always respect them more than your higher popular ones. Like the people who have 100 followers, I kind of
You've learned a trick.
I will give them more love than famous. But, so you got to show love back to your fans.
You've learned a trick.
Yeah.
See, you
I do a lot of studying.
Life's a magic.
I do a lot of researching.
I did too.
Yeah.
I learned so much about social. Like I know how to target market very well, especially for other people. Like I'm really good at making other people famous. Yeah. I'm good with that. I know how to spend their dollars. I know how to do all that stuff.
Why don't you do it with yourself?
Because I don't like how it makes me feel. I don't like the attention.
So what's your end goal?
End goal. Okay, for this podcast?
Or like end goal in life in general. If you don't like the feeling of it, what's the end goal?
I like this. I like people coming up to me, texting me, calling me. The Facebook, Instagram like stuff, I just don't think we're prepared for that.
But you got to build trust. Because I shared.
I know.
I shared all your.
To be a part of this system, a cycle. I'm going to share yours too.
But you had a lot of clicks. A lot of people clicked on your thing. But when you go to your thing,
I can't even log into my thing. I was thinking, that's the only way I know how to communicate to you is Instagram, and I'm locked out. Like that's how much I cared about it.
But yeah, they all went to your page to see your podcast. But then you don't have any pictures of your podcast.
I know, because I haven't started it on there yet. I just realized.
You can just take a picture of the background, take a picture.
Yeah, I'm going to do that. We are going to do that. We're going to do that. Okay, so we're going to use. Do we want to get into the details of how we're going to grow it? Sure. Yeah. For me, it's. Okay, so when I started this, my kids supported me. My son and friends didn't force me, but they highly encouraged me to do this because of the conversations we had. Yeah. Well, for me, it's about stripping it all down, giving all the secrets away. Like, how do you make money as an entrepreneur? Everybody's out there selling books and videos on how to be a millionaire. I'm like, how to make 50,000 or 100,000 or, you know what I mean? Reasonable amounts of money as an entrepreneur. That's really your wheelhouse. Once you figure that out, you can scale it after that. If you can figure out how to scale it. I don't want to tell people how to make $1 million because that's, you know, people get greedy. You can make a lot of money doing what you love, but there's a price.
There is a price.
There's a huge price. I think everyone needs something creative in their life. I truly do. I think it's what changed it's what changed who I was. I was like a Neanderthal going through life, you know, beating and grinding and just getting my way through life, trying to make enough money to pay for vacations and going out to eat. And then I accidentally found videography. Yeah, and that's when, if you want to go to my YouTube channel, if you go to the very end, you'll see how bad I sucked, which was just me and my kids doing backpacking and kayaking. Yeah. And people were like, oh, this is really good. Well, 10 years ago on YouTube, you put anything up and it's good. Yeah. But, you know, you can look at each video I've ever done. Now, there's probably 1,000 videos that I haven't posted, at least. But those are business, those are work. But you can see how I went from here to here. It's funny. We were literally out to dinner the other night at a restaurant. At a friend of mine's, he's getting married, and we were having this thing. And I was sitting there, and I was looking around. It was Short Mountain Distillery. And that photo right there, it was cover of a magazine. I took that for him. He owns Short Mountain Distillery. And I shot this film there. And I was sitting there, and I realized as I was eating, this is where it all started. Like, this is the moment. This is the film that I shot for free that I knew it would jumpstart my career. And I'm all about doing shit for free. You know, build a product, let people know what they need. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? Yeah. But it was really kind of cool.
Feedback,
yeah. I was able to sit there. I was sitting there drinking and having a good time, thinking about how Short Mountain got me Oakland's mansion. And then I could just sit there and go through. I was like, wow, it's fucking crazy. Now it's my entire living.
Yeah.
And it happened quick, very quick. So anyways, I don't know. It's fun. I like to show people that they can do it too, but there's a side effect that I don't do art anymore. I don't make videos for fun anymore, and that's kind of breaking my heart. So I'm trying to build a business that's scalable, that doesn't require me to be like one of the main gears. And, you know, you can give other people opportunities, but the art can't be too advanced. You got to create something that's scalable. It's presentable, not magic.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like you, when you painted your painting, you painted something that was doable. Other people could
do it.
Yeah, that's scalable. But if you came out with one of these paintings,
oh, they would be so intimidated.
That's what I'm saying.
They'll be like, I'm not doing that. But people still do. They're like, there's no way I can do that. I'm like, yeah, we're just going to do it. And then sometimes people try to like draw everything first, but it's all about layering, and the paint dries so quick, so it's all.
Well, I'm glad you're talking about that again.
Yeah.
I think life is about embracing the mistakes.
Yeah.
And going with them.
Yeah, they're there. You can't erase them.
Well, if you look closely, so in the middle, you see the fence, right? It has a gap. It comes down, and maybe they should see it, but whatever. There's a bare spot. Well, that was a tombstone, and it looked like shit. But after I erased it, it looks like a path.
Yeah, it does.
To the graveyard. It looks intentional, and that's what I realized about art. It seems intentional, but it probably wasn't. It was probably a mistake that someone just embraced and went with it.
I know that is a big mess.
You just kept messing with it. Now, I always thought of myself, if I was ever going to be a real artist, I think that's why I like videos. People think I'm some amazing videographer. I can get shots.
Yeah.
But if you've seen my raw shots, you'd be like, he sucks.
Nah, I know the video world. So
you do. You've seen the behind the scenes, and it's amazing what you can do in editing. I realize my gift is storytelling. Like, it's storytelling. But the story that I'm telling is not my story.
Their story. It's
a song. Every video I edit is to a song. And whoever wrote the song is giving me the vision. At that point, I tell people, I don't even choose where these clips go. Like, if it doesn't go, I just say, don't go there. It's not my choice. It's got to go somewhere else. And it's really to the song. It's really kind of crazy. Like,
yeah, that's what, yeah.
Have you, and you've done this. You've been music videos, and it's really weird, isn't it? Like, it's not my choice.
Yeah.
That's the way I do. Nice. Yeah. And so maybe art, I think all art's similar. And is any of this making sense?
Yes.
I was so excited about talking to you about these things, and I hope I haven't disappointed what I was trying to go for, but I just want people to believe they can too.
Yes, for sure.
You just gotta freaking
I know,
try.
my old paintings, not that good.
Why ain't you
But-
posting them? Show people. Say,
do.
hey, oh, you do?
Well, I have posted them, but what do you think? I need to reshare them?
Yeah, sure.
That'd be kind of cool.
I mean, look at how many people you inspire right now. Isn't that your obligation at this point? Is just to inspire other people? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, what's your purpose? I mean, what is your purpose? I mean, you're active member in the community. You're helping people. Like, you're doing it. Like, and me too. You know, and I think that is my purpose. Mm-hmm. Now I know the whole Facebook thing. Yes, if I'm gonna do this, if I'm gonna do the podcast, then I got to do it right. Just because it's just who I am. I don't do anything with intentions of not growing it.
Right.
Actually, I told him, no, if 2 people listen, I'd be happy.
I know. That's 2 people who you've inspired.
Yeah, I
Or
know.
you've
And then
listened.
it was like, okay, how do we get 2,000? You know, and I
Yeah.
thought, God, what's wrong with me? Why can't I just be happy with why does the numbers matter? It's almost like keeping score. Like, it tells you it's worthwhile. It feels like, okay, people are listening, keep going.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah. I just wished I didn't have such an ego that I cared.
Yeah. Sometimes I don't care. I'm just like post and just whatever.
I want to know more about the whole. Maybe you don't want to go into those details, but
Yeah.
like, I don't know how you do it. Like the going live and stuff. You know, I can direct a music video with 50 people on set. Doesn't scare me. You could be the CEO of any company on the planet. Doesn't bother me. But for some reason, social media freaks me out.
I don't know. I like it. I'm pretty good at social media.
I know you are. You walked up in front of that crowd, which that's your element. You know, you
Yeah.
were directing. You were a director. And I guess maybe I would be good in that environment too, but I kind of, for some reason, need to think that I'm filming them, which makes people feel insecure. When you have a camera, people are like,
Oh, yeah.
you have all
Yeah.
the power. Yeah, if you're
Yeah.
behind the camera, you feel good. But yeah, it was hard for me when I got in front of my camera. I was like, shit, this is uncomfortable, which is actually why I did it, because I used to tell people, you got to promote your business. You got to do
Yeah.
this. And they're like, well, bitch, why ain't you doing it? I'm like,
Yeah.
it's scary.
It is, but you got to put yourself out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're right. I'm doing it.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to promote my business. I'm trying to de-promote my business. I'm too freaking busy, man.
Oh, yeah. It gets busy. You got to balance it out.
Yes, I'm miserable. I'm thinking, God, I got to shut a few accounts down just so I can afford to do this. Not afford, but like make the time for
yeah,
this.
your time. Yeah.
I've been telling him, look, we got to get a few things going, get that sustainable, and I want to start reallocating all my energy and invest it into this. I'm doing 1 podcast a week. I couldn't imagine. It's hard enough to do that.
Oh, yeah.
It's very difficult.
Yeah.
I started making thumbnails. I think I'm pretty good.
Yeah, it looked good on YouTube.
You think so?
Yeah, that was good.
I was like, what's this?
I like how it's like a long video and then you break it down into like.
Okay, well, I'll tell you my thoughts.
Okay, I like that. That's
Because I do a lot of research and I just kind of know how the system works.
yeah.
Because most people don't want to listen to a 2-hour conversation. But, because they look at the time. Oh, it's
yes.
2 hours. Fuck that. I don't have that much time to invest. But
But they have 7 minutes.
I like to fish. And I fish with different lures. So you give them, 7 minutes, 3 minutes. You give them a clip with a crazy ass thumbnail and a cool title.
Yeah.
I was kind of surprised that I was capable of writing a title, because I'm not very articulate when it comes to the vocabulary. Like the English language, I kind of struggle with. If you took away my profanity, that's half my vocabulary and I'd be screwed. So, yeah, just coming up with a cool thumbnail that was, I'm trying to be honest. I don't want to do clickbait. You know what clickbait is.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that.
Don't just be yourself.
Well, yeah, I know, but it's still, being yourself is hard. Like, oh no, I'm not being yourself, but like coming up with a thumbnail that would be just enticing enough to make you want to read the title and then say, let's click that. That's the whole secret. If anybody ever wants to figure out how to get clicks,
Yeah, it's the title.
thumbnail first, then, because that's what our eyes see, interesting thumbnail, title, sometimes views,
Yeah.
a lot of times, and then if they like what if you deliver on what they thought they were going to get, you might even get a like or a subscribe.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm doing. So we're using Facebook and Instagram, and I could probably use your help off air. But yeah, using Facebook, Instagram to do short clips, because that's where we consume those things. Those are short clips. And then YouTube and other, what do we do? What's the podcast on? Anchor, which distributes to all the other Spotify, yada, yada, yada. So those are long formats. So YouTube is long format, Anchor's long format, and then Instagram and Facebook. And this is just an experiment.
Yeah.
Which I think Facebook and Instagram, Facebook maybe 8 minutes, Instagram 1 minute.
You can do Instagram TV.
I know. You're going to have to teach me that. We'll talk about that off air because I've seen that you can do it. And obviously, I've never really been involved in Instagram ever.
Yeah. Instagram's a very good platform.
Powerful.
Very powerful platform.
Especially for what I'm doing. I think there's enough little snippets that I could use to, and maybe that's what this whole podcast is about, is entrepreneurship, artists, doing, you're doing it for a living.
I'm going to turn it off.
Why?
My phone's about to die.
You want a charger?
I don't care.
It's okay.
If you want.
Your husband.
Yes.
So I was thinking about you guys. What did I have on my list? I've never written anything down for any podcast, ever. But I wrote down something. You can't look at my handwriting.
All right, I won't look at it.
It sucks. My painting. I got that. Your husband.
Yes.
And you. Y'all are going to kill it. You're just getting started.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So I have 3 things in life. Why, what, and how. That's my trick. I have a system that I've developed for me, and it's the why, what, and how to life. It's my path. And the what would be this hierarchy. You could put all the females on one side and all the males on the other, right? And if you really want to grow as an individual or a couple, the purpose of growing as an individual is to try to be interesting to your mate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you guys are doing this. So if you imagine the 1% at the top, the 0% at the bottom, you guys are doing this. Y'all are just climbing together and you're inspiring. If he gets a little ahead of you, I imagine they say, no, Mo, come on, baby.
Yeah.
Whatever he calls you. I don't know what your pet name is. But then if you get a little above him, you're saying, yeah, or you're pushing each other. And I think that's the secret to a happy relationship and just success in general, is supporting one another. And I seen him, the way he was walking around that room, excited about the shots he was getting. I imagine those shots were to promote. I don't think he was doing a music video with it. He's a musician, by the way.
Yeah, he's doing promo videos. So I do one for like each class.
Every class.
Yeah, he's there filming every class, and then he puts together like a minute video, and it's like promotes Bar Louie, promotes the DJ,
Genius.
Has people painting, and then I just use that for marketing, commercials.
You got it.
Just
Your thumbnails, your artwork, you got these little things. I've seen your art. The way you can put text on I struggle putting text on a picture. I suck at that. That's art in itself.
Yes.
He's really good at it, but he's been so busy because he has his own business, and then I'm trying to lure him into helping me. And then I've been over here trying to make these thumbnails, and I kind of suck at it. I know in a year or two, mine's going to look primitive, but I'm pretty happy with what I've accomplished so far.
Yeah.
But it's hard to put text.
It's like placement.
Yes.
It's all like what can the viewer sees first.
Yes.
And then it's like you got to
Which
organize everything.
All goes back. There's a lot of science behind that. The Fibonacci sequence. I don't know.
But if I do my original paintings, like I have.
Oh my God! Can you cut that out?
I think I turned off the light.
We're gonna fast forward this. God bless. That was slick. Hello. Are we still recording?
Yeah, it's just rolling. Just letting you know.
They see me rolling. Are you back live again?
I'm back.
How many? What do you got? Like 6 million people watching?
Yeah, 7 million.
Jesus, you're so popular. If I'd have known there's gonna be that many people, I wouldn't even have done this.
Good thing I cut it before you spilled all that. That would have been great live footage.
I got it. I just spilled my whole drink on me. It slipped. I'm not drunk. Not yet, at least. I'm drinking coffee, actually. Who drinks coffee this late? I drink coffee all day.
Do you?
A pot a day by probably 11. And I'm still drinking it now. Anyway.
All right.
So you like are you reading people's things?
Yeah, I'm reading.
So you're having to be you're trying to interact.
Yeah.
So I don't think I could do that. I cannot do more than one thing at a time. You just anyway. So we were talking about your support.
Yes.
I guess we covered it, didn't we?
Devin.
But he has a lot going on himself.
Oh yeah, we
Musician.
support each other. Musician, video.
Yeah. So one of his songs were playing.
Yeah.
I was like, that's Devin's song. I thought, Jesus.
I know it's
It
good.
mixed right in there. I was like,
I know.
You find yourself. So there's something about when you find out a local person did it and you listen to it for the first time. If you don't tell them they're local,
Oh, you won't really notice.
exactly.
Yeah.
So if you just kind of blend it right in,
And then I'll
It's
announce
amazing.
it like towards the end.
that was really
And I
cool.
was like, all right, this song was actually from him.
That was
Everyone
good.
was like, oh, okay.
He is incredible.
He's very talented.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So what else do y'all do? So you do painting,
Painting,
music videos.
music. We both bartend. We
Oh,
both,
really?
He bartends as well.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. We're both into fitness role. And I don't know, we have a lot of the same
Yeah.
interests.
Common goals,
But
common interests.
we both have that artist mind
Yeah.
that we're not really on a schedule, but we're like work 24/7.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's my whole family. My whole
Yeah.
family's, he's an artist, he's a musician. Shit, there's guitars everywhere you look. Rebecca, like if I had her skill when it comes to photography, like I can teach you about lights and camera angles, and I can tell you everything you'd ever want to know about how to use the tool of a camera. But my timing sucks. I'm really good at video because I don't have to worry about timing so much. But when it comes to click, I'm off a half a second. And she just has that instinct. I don't know. It's
get
just
the right
something.
shot.
Yeah. Photography's a different
It
world.
is. We're
especially
not-
if you shoot candid, and
Yeah.
it's hard.
Yeah, we're more like video. Like
Me too.
Emotion.
Me too.
People's,
Yep, that's what I'm good at. And I do a lot of photography, or used to. I do a lot of headshots. Actually, I got really good at that. I did headshots because I was trying to learn light. I was trying
It's
to figure it
hard.
out. Yeah.
But we do invest in a lot of equipment, and we do buy a lot of equipment and test it out. And then 90% of the time, it may or may not work. But
Well,
we're
you
just
would be amazed.
But then we learn from it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, mistakes, right? You learn from your mistakes. That's what's important. Like that light right there, this nice warm light was intended to cover up me when my blood pressure goes up, and you can't, you know what I mean? And you
Yeah,
got this
yeah.
nice, so it's the warm and the cool, the contrast in that, and that's zip tied together.
But that's a whole art form in itself.
Well, I learned.
I don't. That is.
Well, that's
a lot
light.
for
No,
me,
I had
yeah.
to. You know how I learned light? I would study photos from really good artists, so I can see the catch light in your eyes. If I could zoom in on your face, I could tell you what kind of light that is. based on light. So
because you can see the two. in
yeah,
your
so I
eyes,
could
yeah.
tell if they were using a ring light, a square light, how many lights, a round light,
Yeah.
catch light. That's what people see. But that catch light is showing you what type of lighting was used to get the shot.
Also, painting portraits. That's taught me a lot too.
Well,
Because I would get a picture, and then I have to like, this side of their face is brighter, this is darker,
you're learning light.
and I got to make sure I have every detail on point.
So you get to, damn, I tried to wrap my head around that. Like I can manipulate light, but as an artist, so I look at my fence post and I'm imagining the light coming from a certain direction.
Yeah, that's why I did the highlight step.
Yes,
Yeah.
I was so excited that
And
you did that.
Yeah, that makes a whole difference.
Yeah.
Now you see where the light's coming from.
Exactly. Yes, it's really, really important. And until these required me to study.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you how many videos I watched on YouTube before it really started resonating on what angles of light look like, what soft light is, direct light. It's freaking complicated.
Oh, it's so complicated.
Yeah.
It's really complicated.
Yeah. And so I imagine I can see the light on how it hit him on the painting and stuff. Anyways, I just think it's cool how people shadow things.
Right there,
Yeah.
and then,
I can see where there was a light coming right there. I would have known how to light that.
But
to make
that's what
that
makes
happen.
the art look so real.
You're exactly
So
right.
like 3D.
You're exactly right.
Yeah.
That's incredible. And how did you learn that? Did you
Uh,
emulate or did you study it?
I don't know. I feel like I just do it. Like I didn't go to art school. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't go to college.
Yep.
I just kept painting. But I would study a picture.
Mm-hmm.
And then sometimes I'll put them, like if I do a portrait for someone, I'll do like a photo grid and I'll put the real picture and then I'll put like the painting.
Yeah.
And I'll literally
So
like,
you're emulating.
compare and contrast. You know, like when you're a kid and you get those like, what's the difference in these two
Yeah.
photos? I was really good at stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I would like pay attention to every single detail. So when I do a painting for someone, like a portrait, I literally scan every single detail.
Yeah.
And you never know, those small details may be so sentimental, like someone holding a red purse. Like I'll make sure that purse is detailed. So, that might be their favorite purse.
Yeah.
And it-
That
you
makes
never
sense.
know.
Yeah. Well, there was a reason why you'd be wearing it or holding it.
Yeah.
So it makes sense.
So I like to try to get the small details in the
That's
portraits.
actually it. Yeah. That's actually it.
So, but I do follow a lot of artists, a lot of full-time artists.
Who? Like painters?
Oh, yeah. I follow,
Do you only follow paint?
no.
What kind of art do you like? Art in general? Boy,
Portraits,
we should go into that
realism.
conversation. What is art?
I mean, any kind of art. I follow a lot of it. So I know all the different styles. I know what style I like. Like the style I like is more, my secret is black outline. And some artists.
Oh, I see it. It's in his hairline.
Yeah. And like some artists think that the black outline, like some artists don't believe in black outlines. They just believe, I don't know. There's so many different styles.
That's what's great. It's an
They
interpretation.
feel like it should be like a natural, but see, I enjoy the sharp black outline. So that's
what you're creating is contrast.
yeah, contrast.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I like all my lines to be sharp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I like that because that's what draws the eye.
Yeah.
Contrast, the difference, the harsh contrast. So,
Yeah.
see, these are things that I know because I've studied them and I know how to apply them. But like I say, I don't feel like an artist when it comes to painting and stuff. I feel like I'm using, like nothing comes natural for me. The only thing that ever came natural for me, my art, would be editing. I think that's my gift.
That's good. That's good. That's what Devin's really good at, editing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to film his videos.
Yeah.
So I would catch all the angles and all that. And then he can just literally be on the computer and do a video in like 2 days.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how? I'm not tech savvy. He's very tech savvy.
I don't
so I
even
feel like
know.
we kind of,
Yeah, I don't know if I'm very, I guess I'm tech savvy enough to get it done.
yeah. Because I would not, editing, cutting, all that gives me anxiety.
Oh,
I'm more like a hand note person.
If he's efficient, then he's programmed keyboard shortcuts. There's literally hundreds you could use, and there's probably 12 to 15 you got to memorize. But yeah, it's but storytelling. He's a storyteller. He's figured out the timing and the tempo and when to go here, when to go macro micro. That's what you're doing. I think in a lot of it you're going macro micro, wide, tight, tighter. You know.
Yeah.
Conflict, climax, resolution. So when I think about it, that's how you tell a story. Is conflict, climax, resolution. So you try to tell stories in 3. So if you can do 3 angles, wide, tight, shallow, then you got a story. You've got people's interest, whether they know it or not. But if it's just one angle, and that's all you got, it's a cell phone, well, just zoom in. And you've changed this. You've changed everything. It feels like another angle. So digitally zoom.
Yeah.
So I'm talking about people that are on their cell phones. Cell phones are incredible now. I literally got the new iPhone because I wanted the 3 lenses.
Oh, the camera is.
That's going to put me out of business. You couldn't count the dollars I've spent in gear. Gear's cheaper now, but back in the day, it's not too much cheaper, but
Yeah.
I spent a fortune on camera gear, and now I could do it with a cell phone, and you would never know the difference.
No.
Although the cameras are easier for me because, they're not as limited.
Yeah. Nice. These are some nice cameras.
Well, thank you. They're scratched and beat up, and
Hey.
they weren't getting
putting in work.
used. Well, they weren't getting used. I thought, well, shit, I might as well put them to use in a podcast.
Yeah. I like this nice setup.
Well, thank you. Once you see it, you kind of realize it's a bunch of junk. In the podcast, it looked kind of cool. I thought, holy shit, man, I made that look cool. And then I go looking, well, those are just boxes of batteries and wires and cables and nothing special. It's your art. Your art kind of pulled it together, I think. I haven't figured out where I'm going to put my art yet in the shot. Troy, do you remember Troy?
Yeah.
He painted that for me.
Troy.
Troy's getting good, isn't he?
Artist.
Yeah? Did he start off with you doing Monday?
classes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bet he watches this.
Yeah, he was watching it earlier.
Was he?
I wonder if Troy's still watching.
Well, he's going to be on the podcast. He texts me and okay, so the people that I've invited on the podcast, don't be offended if you haven't been. There's only a handful of people that can talk for a long time about random shit. Mm-hmm. That's the name of the show.
Yeah.
But Troy and I would sit up there and bullshit about all kinds of crazy things. And one night, he painted that for me.
Yeah, he's really good.
He described that as the way my brain worked. I was like,
makes
well, thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, you think it makes sense?
Makes sense, yeah.
Gears and chaos. I was
Yeah.
like, okay, well, I take that as a compliment just for the fact that he thought enough of me to paint it. Maybe he just needed something challenging. But anyways, he said if he had a topic, he said
his style.
he painted this painting with a guy with glasses. It was like one of his original pieces. And I thought, shit, that's good.
I know I would tell him, like,
you see
Troy,
it?
that is really good.
It was like a school teacher or a college teacher he had. Anyways, I can't wait to have him on the show because he's a very interesting guy. And I kind of have like 10 people picked out, and then maybe I'll just kind of cycle through them. We'll talk about different shit. But anyway, I know we haven't covered everything. I think this is a little bit of a breath of fresh air because I always go like crazy deep and all the whys and stuff. And I thought, man, it'd be nice just to have a normal conversation for once.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also kind of, I don't know, share art. What do you think? You got anything? Did you have anything you want to talk about?
I don't know. I'm just.
You didn't have any idea. You just wanted me to carry the load.
Oh my goodness. I was like, I'll just see.
Let's talk about business. That's fun.
Yeah, business.
Entrepreneurship.
Yep.
How do you
Hard work.
scale art? Tell me. Teach me how to scale art. Dakota, how long have we been trying to scale art? Years. I would create a template. Mm-hmm. We started like we never shut anything down. Like I think the secret is don't have one goal, or you can have one goal, but don't have one path.
Yeah.
Have a variety of paths.
Because I have commissions. I do portraits.
Yeah.
I have paint classes.
Yeah.
Murals for businesses, like Party Foul. I just did Party Foul.
You're busy.
I'm always busy. I'm behind.
Okay, that's what we got to talk about. You get done with that, and that's what I want to talk about.
Yeah. And there's always opportunities for so there's at the Walnut House, there's a live auction.
What's the Walnut House?
It's on the square. It's like an event center.
Oh, I know what that is. Oh, I know what that is. Yeah.
So they're doing a online auction for art. So
Okay.
you have until tomorrow to send it in. So it's been on my to-do list for like 2 weeks now, but that's another avenue as well. And then I'll like do an online art auction, and then that gets my name out there even more. And then I have a Mimosi art box.
Yep.
Selling the boxes.
That's when I was like, damn, she's a little hustler.
Yeah,
You got to pay the bills.
Yeah.
And I think it's actually good because people want to find ways to support you.
Yeah. And I have so many ideas. I get my best working ideas late at night. Really late at night. Yeah. And then I just plan, and I'll have an idea, and then I'll just Google, do some research, and then actually make it to life. And bam, here it is.
Well, what's driving what? Is the art driving the entrepreneurship? Is the entrepreneurship driving the art? What comes first now, the chicken or the egg?
It started off at painting, and then I would just paint for a hobby. And then someone was like, hey, can you paint that same painting but in blue theme? It was like a little carnival or something. And I was like, sure, like $40. Okay. So
You charged right out of the gate.
kind of, yes.
Jeez.
But I did, yes.
You wouldn't believe what I gave away.
Oh, I mean, I did still give away stuff, but I was like $40, $20. People would ask all the time. So it started off at 40, and now I'm all the way at 400.
A painting.
400 a painting.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Well.
So, and I know that still that I should go higher, but you got to keep your market and all that. That's a whole another thought. But I stay up really late, and I do all my marketing, all my stuff really late at night, and then the next morning just get it going.
I just love that you believe in yourself enough and you understand your own worth.
Yeah.
Enough. And I don't think you should, I think you should always be in a position that you're not charging enough.
Yes.
Right? You should always be, the carrot should always be in front of you.
Yeah.
And
I follow a lot of artists, and these are like professional artists. Like they've been doing I'll say I've been making money off art for about 10 years. Yeah. Hardcore, maybe like 5,
yeah,
6.
You're just an entrepreneur. You know how many people are amazing videographers, they're into everything, and they don't know how to make $1.
Yeah.
Because I think people come out of film school and they think, I want to go to Hollywood. Man, you could make a shit ton of money in real estate, and there's so many ways to make money.
Me and Devin's learned, like, you could film somebody's workout. You could...
Weddings. My first wedding I ever shot.
Yeah, we did some weddings.
The first wedding I ever shot was $2,000. The very first.
You don't even want to know.
What? You charge more?
Less.
Oh, well, no, most people do it for free.
Yeah.
Well, no, I was obsessed. And I had already been putting out some incredible work. And so if I'm going to do a wedding, it's going to be amazing. Like that's going to be the moment that I can show what I'm capable of. I mean, God, I studied, but I probably shot Oh, I couldn't tell you how many hours of footage. So I had a lot to work with.
Oh yeah, that's what we do too. Weddings are a lot of work.
Well, I can look at my first, and I only shot 4. I shot 4, and after the 4th one, I realized I'm done. I'll never shoot another wedding. And people are like, would you shoot a wedding? I was like, $10,000.
Yes.
Just to
It's like
show
a
up.
whole long day, but it's all good.
It wasn't even the day. It was the editing process. I had to drink cases of whiskey to get
through.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not gonna look. Everyone that I had the opportunity and privilege to film, I fell in love with every one of them.
Yeah.
But I created an illusion. Those weren't happy tears every time. You know, the timing of the music and the birds tweeting, that was all fake. I felt like a con artist. I really did. I made this.
But it's all an art. You got to think of it as an art.
I know, but I felt like I was a charlatan. I felt like I was selling snake oil.
Nah.
Well, yeah, people would want me to film their wedding, and I'm thinking, because they want that same experience, and I'm thinking, it ain't what you think. There's mosquitoes. It's hot as shit.
Oh, yeah.
People are freaking the fuck out.
So people are
Nothing's
like,
on
"Oh,
time.
You own your own business." I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
I am busy.
Weddings are total panic.
Yeah.
They're not fun. Yes, you own your own business, which is the most satisfying and miserable thing you'll ever do.
It is.
But
But it's worth it. I still work at Toots.
Yeah.
One day.
I think that's healthy. I
Yes.
wondered why you did it. I was thinking it had to be for some form of balance.
I think
normalcy.
Toots put me on with all my clientele because I would paint and then
Yeah, it was Toots
I would
created this.
tell the customers, they're like, "Oh, are you in college?" I'm like, "I'm not in college." And they're like, "Well, what do you do?" You know, it's college town. I'm like, "Well, I paint." And they're like, "Well, you paint houses?" I'm like, "No,
You said
I
it as if
paint."
you were being judged.
I'm like,
Do you think you were actually being judged?
"What?"
You said it, the way you said it was like,
Yeah.
what do you do?
Yeah, I do.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that the way everybody sounds?
And I'm like, I'm an artist. And then they're like, well, what? Like, what do you do? So I don't know. So then I would show them and be like, well, look at this portrait I painted, or look at this. And then they're like, well, I want to buy one.
That's incredible.
And then I learned, because I met you through Toots.
Yes.
And then,
Yeah, your first painting for me was this one.
Yeah.
And it was through a concept. I think I was kind of reaching out to you anyways. So Garrett, you know Garrett, we were talking about this concept, and I had this new idea about the silent killer of relationships, and it's guilt, like, you know, and resentment's the balance, because I'm all about balance. That's the whole yin and yang. And we talked about it, and you're over there just doodling, and I thought that's how it kills a relationship. And then I was like, shit, man, it's perfect. It's like that's the death of a great ship, relationship, partnership, friendship.
yep.
Like,
But
just,
I really enjoy, I have so many regulars. It gives me like, when I work at Toots, it gives me like I'm alive almost.
Yeah.
Because if I went to working at home every single day, it's
terrible.
terrible. So when I go, I'm social. You get your social time. You actually work. You can kind of make money without having to think so deeply when you do art. Because painting is like a whole process. So it gets challenging. But I feel like at Toots, it's more fun. It's more social. And I still connect. And now I'm like, here's my business card. Here's this.
you'd almost do it for free, I think.
Do
Just
what?
to have, you know, work
Toots?
at Toots for free. I'm not saying you would. I'm saying I think
yeah.
the health benefits of just being there, doing something to
yeah.
kind of balance you out, get you away.
And also, it's money that you make not from your craft. So it's like, this is just like,
Yeah.
you know, it's not like
What-
you work and concentrate, and it's like a different. That was a big game changer when I went from making bar tip money to making commission painting money, and I'm actually like, this is my money. Like, I earned this money, not like, oh, this guy tipped me $100 today and I'm gonna spend. You know, this is like, I made $100 from this painting. It took me
Off
so
your
long.
imagination.
Yes. So that was a big.
That's fucked up to think about.
That was a very big mind change for me. That was
Yeah.
the hardest part. But now you want to accept it. Now I'm like, all right, well, this
Yeah.
is my job. I've got a life balance now. It's all coming together. It's not perfect, but it's still working the kinks out.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in the exact same spot.
Yeah.
It's and you know, I still work for Nissan. I didn't give that up. I almost did. I almost left. I wasn't planning on sticking around much. Matter of fact, I turned in my notice to do, you know, a few years ago, I turned in my notice to do videos full time. And then I had this opportunity to make videos for Nissan. How freaking crazy is that? You're going to pass that up?
I was actually there when
When it happened. And now I'm building a program that'll, you know, I'm anticipating that it'll be, I don't want to go into too many details because I'm still building it. It's nothing, The only thing that's fun is that I get to build it with other people. It's not just me by myself. And that's what I hated about what I was doing. I felt so alone.
Yeah.
I didn't have anybody to kind of soundboard off of.
It's like whenever I paint portraits, it's literally like I'm sitting in the same spot for like 8 hours doing like, it's kind of,
Well, I always thought it would be therapeutic.
it is. I zone out a lot. And
But when
then
you're
I'll be
doing it
like,
for
okay.
someone else, when you're doing... So the reason why I did this is because there was such an imbalance in my life. There was no more creativity. There was no more randomness to it.
That's what I've been trying to go back to, because I have been so busy with painting other people's paintings that I don't have any gallery work for myself.
That's what I want to talk about. Thank
so
God you said
I
that.
would start doing shows, and then I'm like, well, I don't have any artwork, and the artwork I do have is like, it's not finished in my eyes, but all my greatest work is all in someone else's house, and I'll never see it again. Imagine like spending all this time, and then once it's gone, you'll never see it again. Which is good. I can see these now.
Oh, they're so appreciated.
one of those,
no,
like-
that's got to be the side effect. Like
It is, like,
it genuinely brings so much joy to me. Like when I put them up, all I thought about was you painted these.
Yeah.
And I didn't think of you at first. I was just thinking about how cool they made my room look. And I thought, what fucking value you're putting into the world that, you're doing something that's amazing. It's incredible.
Yeah.
And I think of my painting, my videos the same way. So, but,
That's why I really enjoy doing commissions.
well, what I want to talk about is the motivation.
Mm-hmm.
You gave me a book. Well, you sent me a link to a book that I have not read,
The
audiobook.
Artist Way.
Okay, so I haven't used it. I've thought about it a lot
Okay.
because I've came so close to just, I'm done.
You should do it. It's
But-
a 12-week course.
Well, I didn't ever get that far. I thought when I get desperate, because I think you went into a moment that you were just uninspired. Mm-hmm. I feel like it may have been around the time that you was even doing my paintings. Like maybe burnout.
I think I was burnt out of Toots.
Yeah.
I wanted to.
Oh, Toots, that makes sense.
Because I was at Toots 5 days a week talking about it.
So
and
you
then
weren't burnt out on paintings?
I wanted to paint so much.
Really? So
And
you
I-
weren't close to burnout?
I was burnt out on Toots.
Oh.
I was burnt out, and I wanted to do what I wanted to do. So I had this like hunger drive of like study and figure it out, because I don't want to work at Toots, and I just want to
Yeah.
paint.
Nothing wrong with Toots. We all love Toots.
I love Toots. I've been there about 8 years.
Yeah, and you're still there. No, but
Yeah.
that makes sense. No, you should aspire to grow. Like if you're not
Yeah.
growing, you're shrinking.
I would just talk about it all the time, and I would talk about it, and all the regulars were like, how's your paintings? How's this going? How's this? And I would just show them pictures. And then the whole time I'm at Toots, I'm talking about painting.
Well, okay, so so I thought I was going to get the secret. I thought I was going to learn the secret from you because I think that's what I admired most. 10 years. You've been grinding.
Oh, yeah.
And I've reached burnout so many times, and I'd heard burnout described as where burnout would be where the investment would be less than the reward. I'm sorry, the investment is more than the reward. So if the reward is less than the initial investment, that's burnout, if that makes sense. Like if if you put all this investment in and you don't feel anything afterwards,
Yeah.
that's burnout.
Well, back to following artists. So all of them are in different cities, different states. They have their own following. They have like really good, but there's so many different avenues. Like there's this one woman, her name is Sue, and she collabed with Puma and designed her own.
Oh, the sneaker company.
Yes.
Okay.
She designed her own fashion like gym line. So she put her design on, some clothes.
She just painted this thing and presented it. Is this a painting?
It's
Or is it graphic artist?
She's a painter.
Okay.
Yeah. But so that's like an avenue I know that I could always have, collabing with stuff. And then also like Toots regulars, they would give me so many ideas, like designing wine bottles, going to Arrington, like contracting. It's unlimited what you can do with art. And I feel like I haven't even tapped into.
I know you're still local.
I'm like,
I know you're probably out of the local market, but still,
Yeah.
your main source of revenue is locally. It's amazing. I think all these kids think that they got to go to Hollywood. They got to do all these things. Man, there's so much you can do locally to be just to be a part of the community and make a wonderful living.
I feel like you gotta master your city first,
Yeah.
and then if you don't master your city, you're really not gonna. You gotta do your city, then maybe take over Nashville.
Yeah.
Then
everybody
maybe
else
take
everybody
over-
else wants Nashville right out
Of
of the gate.
course. And then maybe take over somewhere else. So if you don't have support from your city,
You got to be what does they say? The master of your own backyard. Is that
I haven't
have
heard
you ever
that, but
the
it
master of
makes
your own
sense.
domain? Like you got to
Yeah.
master your own backyard before you ever try to
yes.
take over
Yeah.
anything else. Yeah.
So I feel like
I
I'm
did that.
learning and I'm making my mistakes, trial and errors with people who love me and like support me.
Yeah.
So that way, whenever I go to, I mean, I'm still doing everything's public, but other cities, that's why I want to do the tour, the Bar Louie tour.
I'd like to hear more about that. I think it's genius. Only because I love business. I love investing. That's my thing. I love to invest in people, things, ideas. I think my gift though, I love to invest in everything that sounds good. But my gift is knowing when to say, bad investment, put it over here. You know, I have no problem saying a lot of people that fail say, I've invested too much to quit now. You know, and I think that's the secret to being a good entrepreneur is knowing when to stop investing. Because you can invest in people they can get you to a certain point, and then when they're because people get burnt out. People around you get burnt out, and it's good to tell them, say, hey, maybe you should try something else. You know, move on. And I need to stop investing in you and me, and we go our own way. But people try to hold on.
Yeah, but I'm real big on consistency.
Well,
I feel
as long as
like-
it's working, but how do you inspire people around you that's not
Consistency brings trust.
okay?
So
What do you do about people that kind of lose interest?
I don't worry about them.
What do you mean?
Like, I'm just gonna keep doing.
Yeah, you are. But if
So-
you have to invest in someone and they don't want to show up, then they're kind of just like, if you have to keep motivating constantly to see your vision or to be a part of something that you're trying to grow, like how do you?
I don't really feel like
Does that
I have
even
that
happen?
many people in my circle. I work so much that everyone on my circle, and I'm building that right now. Everyone is entrepreneurs
Yeah,
around me, and I like that.
yeah.
So we all kind of feed off each other.
Well, the thing is, I think the secret with you is the entrepreneurs. They're not just helping you grow; they're networking to help them grow.
Yes.
So that's the key. I think. I think you've partnered with people. You've networked.
Oh yeah.
You're a good networker.
Yeah. And then I've always heard like
I'm a terrible networker.
someone has to see something like 28 times or 18 times before they really get it. So the more that you're consistent, the more they'll build trust. So they'll be like, okay, well, she's having a paint class. They don't want to go. You know, they're like, we don't know what that is. So the more that I do it, the more consistent, then they're going to be like, oh, well, I trust
You're building social proof.
that if I go to this class, then I'll do good. Because people are really people are, you know,
Which people are we talking about?
like the like the
People that show up to paint.
yeah,
They're
you know.
nervous?
No, like
Oh, sorry.
like
My bad.
say you see it on Facebook ad.
Yeah.
And you're like, I can't paint. I'm not going to go.
That's okay. Yeah. Well,
That's what I'm
I didn't mean
saying,
to be nervous. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So once you build trust and then you network, and then it's like, okay, well, Nathan was there, so I'm going to go next time. Because Telly, you know,
Yeah, I know Telly very well. Me and Freddie was talking about it tonight. So Telly and Freddie, they're about to get married.
she messaged me and was like, I see Nathan. And I was
Oh,
like,
okay. So,
so
I
see,
didn't-
that's another part of,
the last podcast, I was like, hey, there's like 20 of us. I'd like to get the whole gang and come up there. And from that, you grow.
so now I've
You
built
figured it out.
trust.
You're a networker.
I've built trust with Telly because you were there and you
Social,
did
that's
it.
called social proof.
And then so now maybe next time she'll want to go.
You're a master at social proof.
So that's how you just gotta. That's why you do consistency, builds trust.
We all
Trust
grow together.
Builds more people, and then you got to do good business. Y'all, I try to do really good
Yeah.
business.
Well, you know, so since you said that, so I've never talked about this on here. I have contracts. No obligation to pay contracts. At the bottom it says, you're not obligated to pay. If you're not happy when you're signing the check, you don't owe me shit. The only thing I ever ask for is, can I fix it? It's never been a problem because that does two things. It lets me know who I want to invest in. If they are trying to take advantage of me, I don't want to waste any more time in them. They can keep all the money. I don't care. I'll just reinvest over here. And because that's my philosophy, it keeps me hungry. Like I'm just like, if I feel like I literally have a contract right now, and it's very big. And I called, I was like, I don't feel like I'm producing. I feel like I'm consuming more than I'm producing. And I can't keep using COVID as an excuse that, like, we had a plan. They had allocated all these hours because they buy all this group of hours in the beginning of the year, and then we allocate it for the rest of the year. But then COVID shut everything down. So we were like, okay, we should do these big, whatever. We should promote this and promote that. But it just isn't getting done. And I feel the guilt.
Yeah.
I don't like that. So I was telling him, I was like, look, we got to figure something out or I'm just going to give the whole thing up. You won't owe me nothing. And I'm not talking about a small piece of money. I'm talking about a normal person's salary.
Yeah.
And I was willing to give it up because I feel it's imbalanced and I just can't accept it. So it was about helping them help me. Does that make sense? So I didn't mean to get into all that, but it's like one of my cornerstones to business. It's if I'm consuming more than I'm producing, I don't want to be involved. I always want to produce a little bit more than you're giving me.
Yeah, but you do always go through seasons. So
say again.
It's like there's always a season for like downtime. Embrace that downtime. There's a season for high time. Embrace that. There's a season for being broke. There's a season for
I know.
being
I feel
rich.
like
There's a season for being happy. There's a season for being sad.
I agree. I feel like my season's been extended a little longer than normal. It's like, okay, come on. We had all these events planned. They didn't get shot. So we're trying to reallocate the resources. I'm getting paid. The work we had planned on doing isn't getting done. So we've like tried to think up ways to compensate for that. I feel like I'm under delivering. Yeah. So I called, I had some ideas. I was like, I have some, but we're talking about government money. And when it comes into government, it's tricky. Like, I don't want to get into all the details, but you can't spend it the way you would like to because it becomes into politics and things that I'm not aware of. So I do tourism. That's what I'm passionate about. Like when it comes to videos, helping communities, I think that's exciting for me. So being involved, I was doing a lot for Rutherford. Mm-hmm. COVID killed it all.
Yeah.
So, but I do it for other communities. Anyways, I don't want to get too much on me there, but man, that was really good.
It was.
I think we covered a lot.
I think we did. A lot of business, entrepreneur.
Yeah. Well, I kind of thought it would lead down that road anyways, because I mean, that's kind of like the backbone. It's what you're doing. You're taking what you've loved and trying not to get burnt out and
turn it into a business. That's why I do so many different things. But I do get burned out on certain stuff.
Well,
that's why I have 50 million things I do.
Well, I'm the exact same way. But I've been spread very thin. If I get too thin, then I'm not productive at anything. Yeah. I don't want to let...
I'm really big on planning. Journaling.
I have no plan.
Journaling.
I have Garrett Smith for that. Garrett Smith is my friend and partner in business, and he just makes my life so easy. He's incredible.
Back to that Artist Way book. You need to do that.
Why?
You need to do that. It's
life-changing. You think it would re-inspire me?
Yeah, it gets you to your core. It figures it out. Like.
Well, so you're saying root, down to the root, the core? I was thinking I would hold off to where I was desperate.
Well, I was in a spot where I went full-time artist, and then I joined the RAA, which is Rutherford Arts Alliance, and they had a group. It was, I think it was like $50. You get the book, and you get to go to all these classes once a week. And there was Ron Alley. He was the teacher, therapist guy. He's an artist as well. So it was a group of all artists. So these are women who are like in their 50s, 60s. They've been doing art their whole life. These are like people who, I just got surrounded by all artists. But you would go home, read chapter 1, and then you would have like some homework assignments, and then you go into, we did once a week groups, and we would just talk about it and dissect the whole chapter. Then chapter 2, we would read it and then do homework, and then we would go in and talk about it. So it was almost like accountability, and it was in person, and I did it with a group of people who were artists as well, and they were like veteran artists. So I learned so much from them. Like there's this woman, Suzanne, and she said that when she was in her prime or younger, she went on her bus or her car and literally traveled to all these states and literally just live painted everywhere.
Live, like on the sidewalk?
Yeah, just anywhere. She'll just pull up, like maybe festivals, stuff like that. But that was her. She did it for like a few months, and like I was like, wow, I can learn a lot from.
I think that's what I've been doing wrong. I've never.
Yeah, take that. I don't know. They inspired me, and then I learned, and then they would tell me their problems, and we all had similar entrepreneur artist problems. So it was almost like an art therapy group for like 12 weeks. And then after that, I'm like, well, if they're making a living and have a great, like, I can do it too. It's almost like they became my mentors.
Yeah.
But that's the same people with Instagram. They're all like,
I've never done
successful.
this with someone. I've never sat down and had a conversation with another filmmaker.
Yeah.
Like maybe me and Devin need to get together and just hear about
Yeah.
his process. I've never, I don't know what it is, why I never got involved with somebody else. I think maybe I was intimidated. I was
why I
afraid they
follow
would
so
laugh at
many
my work.
artists.
You know, well, I was honestly afraid that my shit sucked. I truly,
Yeah.
for years, it was only until people like Garrett being around me, people that believed in me, was like, dude, no, what you've done is incredible. This is worth this much money. I'm thinking,
Yeah.
Jesus, really?
Yeah.
I wished I would have. I maybe I should reconsider and spend more time around people that's in and you know, network with people. But I don't know. Me and him talked about it today. Actually, he was in an environment where he's doing a gig for some HGTV or whatever, and he was working around other artists. They were filming a television commercial, and they were using his work in the show. And he was explaining to me. I'm speaking of Dakota here. He was talking about the experience he had. They really appreciated his work, and I was thinking, wow, I wonder what that would be like just to have a conversation and talk, dissect mine, and try to figure out where the creative process comes from. And I think that's why I was so excited about having you on, because you're really the only other, like, we don't see ourselves as artists when it comes to this. Well, like, we're entrepreneurs.
Yeah. But it's
Using
still
art.
art.
I agree. Yeah. I agree 100%. And I'm not shortchanging myself as much as I used to. I'm finally starting to realize, well, I've discovered what art is. You know, it's creation, it's creating, it's getting out of the way and letting things happen and accepting embracing, emulate until you innovate. Like, meaning copy something, copy it to the best of your ability, and embracing the mistakes that come from it.
Make it your own.
That's art. That's the root word of creativity, is to create. And you don't create something in which already exists. That's not a creation. That's a replication.
Right.
It's a copy. But to create art is making something that kind of came through you. It's you discovered it. That's what I think art is. I think art is discovered.
I like being around other artists. I did a lot of groups too, where it'll be this guy Unique on Instagram. He's Unique.
That's his
whatever.
name, Unique.
Yeah, Unique.
Yeah.
But he used to put together artist groups. So it'd be
I gotta
like
hang out
5 or
with you.
6 artists, and we're all just in a room just painting and doing our own stuff. And then I also hang out with so many entrepreneurs. Harley Bell. We hang out every day. We're just like,
Really?
let's do some work.
God, I don't have
We're just
anybody like that. I'm like I'm no
so-
Rambo. I just kind of
I've slowly just built people around me who are
You built a circle.
like-minded. And then we all ping and
How do I
build.
join this group?
So do some work. You want to work?
I'm doing work. I do work every day.
I do too. I'm like, hey, what you doing? You want to work?
I just do it by myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Find people that inspire you. Instagram is really good with that.
Well, you've inspired me. Your art's on my wall, although I'm not a painter.
Follow like other podcast people, and then you pick what you
I
like.
called my buddy.
You pick, or even like people you've never met before, and then you
Other
kind of
podcasters?
Yeah, kind of study like what do you like about their podcast and what do you not like about their podcast.
Yeah, I don't listen to any podcasts. I'm out here being a podcaster and I don't even listen to podcasts. Joe Rogan. Everybody listens to Joe Rogan on some level, but that's not even, you can't even wrap your head around that. But
Yep.
Yeah. I think
with
you
artists.
know it. I think my ego's too big, I think of ego as insecurity. It's just that thing that makes you feel like a loser. You know, it's that thing that represents your insecurities is how I define an ego. And I think I'm afraid that people will find out. Have you ever heard of imposter syndrome?
Yeah.
I feel like an imposter.
But you know, there was actually a whole chapter in that Artist Way book.
I believe it.
Yes.
I've suffered from it. That's why I used to tell, like, oh my God, you're an artist. I was like, bitch, I'm getting lucky. Like, this is just, I don't know how I did this. And then I boiled it down to, I gave all the credit to my art, to the music. I was like, no, it's not me. It's the music.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because for some reason, don't want to accept responsibility for the things that I've created. It's weird.
Well,
It's just some insecurity.
That.
Well, I'm just a flawed creature full of
once you get
insecurities.
around other artists, they all feel the same way.
I know.
So
That's
then you're
why-
just like, okay, well, it's really not that big of a deal.
Exactly. That's the whole point of this podcast.
So I
is to expose that.
Yeah, I
That's-
really make it a point to surround myself with.
That's what I need to do. I think that's the one thing I've never attempted. I've never put myself in a room with other people, like-minded people.
Yeah, you should try it.
I'm surrounded by
I do
people.
that often. It's nice.
I don't know where these groups exist. You gonna give me a list?
Yeah, I'll give you a list. Facebook. I do. Yeah.
Do I need to start my Instagram and
Yes.
be a part of it?
Yes,
and
you need to get on.
join
with your
groups.
Instagram.
Okay, if you see a change in me, it's
start following other podcast people. Notice how they promote. Notice if it catches your attention, it'll catch someone else's attention.
yeah.
Then gotta do a lot of research
You have
on
a-
the competitions.
Well,
But
I'm
they're
a
not
numbers.
competitions. They're
No,
like-
no, it's no.
Yeah.
We grow together.
Yes.
No, I don't see it as competition. No, I love competition.
Yeah.
Competition drives me. That's why I'm always giving all the secrets away. If anybody wants to know how I do what I do, it's no secret. I want to tell you. I'm dying for
Should
somebody.
keep it a secret.
What?
Should keep it a secret.
Why? I want other people to have. I want other people to try it. You know, I want other people to say, "Oh, I don't have to work this shitty fucking job installing cable or making
Yeah.
a car. Like I can pick up a camera." Fuck yes, you can.
Oh, yeah,
it's
for sure.
it's simple, but it's not easy. It's a trick.
Yes.
I'll teach you the trick. Now you practice.
It's a lot of marketing. I
Well,
market more
You know,
than
I didn't.
paint.
Well, I didn't. I went the other way. So you're a front door girl. I'm a back door guy. I just kind of slip in there and I do it. I market for other people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's why my shit. I hit really quickly. As soon as I started getting viewers, it freaked me the fuck out. Like I started 10 years ago on YouTube and it got to like 200 people and people messaged me and thought, "Hey, let's hang out sometime." I thought, Jesus, I'm nobody. I'm just a dude making videos, and it freaked me out. So that's why I turned the camera around and started filming other people. But now I'm starting to embrace it. I don't want to be a YouTuber. I don't think that's sustainable. I don't think it's healthy. I think I can do this because this doesn't require me to be a character or to go out and film something crazy. I can just bullshit with people that I find interesting. Yeah. And I think this is sustainable long term. Mm-hmm. That's why I chose this. And I can talk about shit that scares me. And if I can talk about it, then I can overcome it.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the point. If you was wondering why I did this, or at least that's the excuse I use.
Hey.
Maybe, I don't know.
It works. I was watching the videos. I was like, okay.
You what? Which one did you see? Do you even know?
On YouTube,
Yeah.
all of them.
You're full of shit.
I did my
You did your
homework.
research?
Yes.
I can't believe you even came on here. Everything was about, whether you realize it or not, it all goes back to, like, we can talk about manufacturing a car and somehow I'll find a way back to being loved or self-respect or relationship. Like, it's, for me, it's what it all boils down to. We should be the best version of ourselves,
Yeah.
right? To inspire people around us to do the same. And that's attractive. That's, anyway, that's what it's all about.
It is.
And you're doing it. You're out there. And that's what I kind of seen with you and Devin was y'all are just climbing. And I'm just going to watch y'all just grow.
We
grow.
always said whenever we first met her, I listened to his music. I was like, this is good. But we always said, we're like, if you get famous, then I'll get famous. But if I get famous, you'll be famous. So we've always told
Y'all are
each other that
networkers.
since the beginning.
God, I've had to do it all by myself because I was I never thought I'd be accepted. That's
Yeah.
the truth. Like, if anybody's ever seen anything I've ever done, and I make my entire living doing it, and I've done incredibly well. Like, I've turned money down now because I just can't do it. I mean, I couldn't scale it.
Yeah.
It was, I'm no bigger because I was too nervous to associate myself with someone else doing it. And I thought, it's so stupid and so silly, but whatever. We're scared of whatever,
Yeah.
we all have our own fears. Here you are on fucking whatever live and that shit don't bother you a bit. What does scare you? Let me ask you that. So this doesn't scare you. What does?
I'm still nervous at my paint classes. I'm nervous.
Nervous is good. If he wasn't nervous, he
Scared?
probably wouldn't do it.
I try to take the
What do
fear.
you avoid? How about that? What do you avoid in life? Because everybody's nervous or scared about something, but
Okay.
I avoid things.
Cameras.
Okay,
Yeah.
in front of or behind.
Okay, it's kind of ironic because I'm on
You're in
live
front of
now.
one. You're in front of three
Okay,
cameras.
If I'm like doing an activity or like live painting, I enjoy people watching me. But if it's like, how do I explain it? If it's like, all right, take a video of yourself talking about this event, I'm like, no, I can't do that.
Okay.
But if it's like organized and if it's all like this, I'm like, all right, this is good. But if it's like,
So that's something you avoid.
yeah, interviews, but I'm ironically here. So this kind of helped me
This
do that
isn't-
too. It's like practice.
Yeah, I didn't want to make this an interview. I seen you said something about interview, and I thought, well,
Yeah, I'm just
I
gotta
don't really
draw
interview
people's,
people.
draw people in.
Oh yeah. I hope it will. I hope it. Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
we're
like-
just getting. I mean, look. When's the last time we talked?
Yeah.
A few years.
Yeah.
So, and we've never talked like this before. Shit, I was getting drunk. You know what I mean? You serving drinks and we're bullshitting about whatever. You're a busy girl when you're behind the bar. So
Yeah.
we've never sat down and had a 1 hour conversation before. But what little bit I knew, I was intrigued with because honestly, it wasn't just the art. The art inspired me.
Mm-hmm.
The entrepreneurship intrigued me. Like
Yeah.
that was like, they're doing it. Like I just got to dissect this and I really just want to nurture it and say, keep going, guys. I mean, I love it. I love
appreciate it.
No, you don't have to appreciate it. I think it's important. I mean, this is what makes the world go round. It isn't big chains. It's people, individuals making a difference in other people's lives. And y'all are doing that. Whether you realize it or not, I mean, you made a difference in my life. I've got a fucking painting that I've been talking about for a
paint
week.
classes. I love paint classes.
So that's what you got to work on. We got to. So, what's your goal? What's the overall goal? Right now, like what are you like investing? So you have a lot of things you're investing in, but we only have 100%. You've invested a percentage here, here, and here, and here. Where are you allocating the most resources? Like what is the largest allocation? What's the largest investment you have? What are you pushing for? Have you thought about it that way? Because that's how I build. That's the way I break down.
But I feel
Everything
like
for
I
me is
don't
an
give
investment.
I mean, I guess I should give everything. I mean,
No,
I give
you
everything
can't.
100.
You only have 100%. So you can invest 5 here. So right now, the way I see the podcast, for
So
me,
I
the
do-
podcast is 10%.
Okay.
I've allocated 10% of my effort. It's a fabricated number, but it's like an instinct, right? I instinctually believe I'm investing somewhere around 10 to 15% of my effort into the podcast, and I'm trying to reduce my investment in other places and focus it
Well,
here.
going full-time artist gave me so much time.
Okay.
So that was a big thing. And I really am focusing on Bar Louie a lot.
Partner. So
It's a perfect atmosphere for people to I impact people.
well, I think this is the way I see it. Give more than you take, and you will always receive more than you've ever given.
You gotta show
So-
love to get love.
Yeah, we love to be loved.
Yeah.
That's the definition of gratitude. So that's a whole nother topic that we could go into, and that's where I really tend to drift off to. But you're bringing in business, funneling it. You're an attraction. You know, you're funneling it into Bar Louie. You're helping the servers, not just Bar Louie, the business, but you're helping the people in there.
Oh yeah.
So everyone is bidding. I mean, I gave an incredible tip. I
I
had a
did
solid
too.
buzz. I was drinking double shots of Jameson and
Yeah, but I like
painting away.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
the
was like,
atmosphere.
and you gave me free tickets, and I was like, shit, I still spent a lot of money, you know?
Yeah, it is.
I don't know
But
what
it's
it
a great
cost.
time.
I don't know what it cost.
Yeah.
And honestly, we need to figure out a way to promote that before we get off here, and I'll find a way to put it in there.
Okay.
Because I'm just now starting to promote this, and we could do this again and keep growing together, because
Yeah.
you're my first networking person.
Nice.
I messed up. I was asking you, so, okay, Bar Louie.
Bar Louie.
I didn't mean to talk too much about it. That's where you want to invest your resources, or at least the majority.
Yes. But I do a lot of
Not just
planning.
one.
So I've learned this planning method called
Teach me. I use
Time.
Trello. He taught me Trello.
all right, so it's actually this planner that's underneath this little live rig.
Okay.
But
Dakota, take notes. Help me out here, buddy.
I do a lot of time blocking. So all right, it gets real. I'm a really big
You're an organized person.
I'm not, but I've trained myself to be. So I'll be like, all right, I need to do all
That's not
this.
a creative person.
And then I'm like, okay, well, going to the store to buy more canvases. And then all this. So I'll put, that'll take me 25 minutes. So I'll look at this task list and it's like, oh, I don't just have to go to the store. That'll take hours. So I'm like, okay, this will literally take me 25 minutes. And I'm like, all right, let's go. 25 minutes.
You put it in there.
Yeah,
In that way.
it's my time block.
You're tricking yourself. You're
Yeah.
tricking your
And I'll be
emotions.
like, all right, post this.
You're
to-
manipulating your emotions. I have a note about that. I want to talk about that one night. Sorry, I didn't mean to
Yeah. It's like,
mess you up there.
get canvases, get this, promote this, post this, look for opportunities here, paint this. And I'm literally put 1 hour, 10 minutes, 10 minutes, 10 minutes. So when I get up, I have my whole day and I'm like, all right, this will take 10 minutes. It's not going to be like I have a whole task list of things to do. It's like, and then once you check all those lists, it's like an accomplishment. And you're like, all right, I'm ready to do more. But I don't always check off my list. But I do a lot of time blocking.
Why won't I commit to that? Like, I'd rather deal with the anxiety.
Because if I would say, go to the store and buy 40 canvases, I get overwhelmed. Like, that's going to take me all day. But then if I put 30 minutes, I'm like, all right, I'm on a schedule and I'm going to go in there. I'm going to grab what I need. And then 30 minutes and it's only been 30 minutes. And I'm like, wow, it didn't take me as long as I thought.
So you're very productive.
Yeah, I'm very productive.
I'm productive when somebody's waiting on something. That's it. It's the only time.
Productive.
The only way,
24/7.
Oh, the moment somebody says, where's this project that I haven't even thought of?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. And then my creativity it explodes. My brain starts flowing, and that's when I do my best work, is when I'm under the most pressure. Mm. And I've just really embraced that. Like, that's where I shine. And I've almost just gotten lazy, and I've just embraced it too much that I embrace it too. Like, the only thing consistent about me is my inconsistencies. The only
consistency.
Well, okay, so
to build trust.
I have to pay people to keep me on track. Like, I'd rather somebody tell me. I like for other people to manage me.
Well, what if you spent that money in a...
No, then I'd be all alone. I love the team that I've built. You know, I say I pay them. They do other things, but they also are required to tell me when to be, where to be.
I would say,
I love that.
Because there's a lot of like online courses you can pay, say like a Boss Bitches Marketing Master course.
Boss Bitches, you made that up, didn't you? Is that a real thing?
I have actually
look
spent
it up.
A lot
Google
of money.
that shit. Boss
it's
Bitches,
called,
Bitches Master Course.
On Empire Boss something.
BBMC.
So I'm like, all right, let me see what this is about. And then it's like $50 for like a 12-page homework assignment. And I didn't go to college. I didn't do all that. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to spend this $50 and this is going to be my homework.
You do that?
Yeah, I do that all the time.
The fuck is wrong with you?
I spend so much money on these little like, oh, this is a $10 course. And I'm like, $10 spent, sit there, do it. And then I'm like, okay. Like, I have so much.
I'm amazed. I'm genuinely amazed. And these work. What does Devin do? So you and Devin are similar.
Okay.
You have similar careers.
Yeah.
You have, when it comes to art, similar passions, obsessions. Is he that organized?
He's more the technology. He writes notes in his computer. I have to
I speak notes into my phone.
He has to, yeah, he has phone reminders. He has all that. I can't. I need to physically see it.
I pay for everything. I pay for, like, if the bill has to be paid, automatic withdrawal.
Automatic.
It's
See,
the only way
I
I
have
can
it in
do
my
it.
planner. I'm like, this needs to be done.
I told on here one night, so I'll say it again. I am such a procrastinator that I had this one little thing that would have never cost me a dime. Had I done it, had I just stopped what I was doing, spend an hour, do what I need to do.
It's time blocking.
You know what I did? It cost me $10,000 in the long run.
Yeah.
I look at that and I think, what the fuck is wrong with me? Like, I've got to learn how to do shit that I don't want to do.
Yeah. But I thought you got to think about it. Even though you're an entrepreneur, you still work. You still have to work. You still have to be around people that you don't enjoy. You still have to do things you don't enjoy.
I know, and I'm doing them, but there's little things that I think I can put off till tomorrow.
Yeah.
That I don't do.
I write all that shit
but
down.
Where I'm good at is when they're, Nathan,
hey, where's it at?
Where the fuck is this at? Yeah. I've been working on it for 2 days. I just start, right? And then I'll knock it out. Hey, I got it by tomorrow. And that's where I'm killing it. So that's like, it's like my superpower. Mm-hmm. But it's also, isn't this the way that your greatest gift is also your worst freaking, it's like your worst quality.
Yeah. There's always a tip as well.
Do you get both? I mean, can you have both? Can you find that kind of balance? Like, what makes you great?
You just got to learn. So there's a tip. It said, okay, there's a tip. It stuck with me.
Teach me.
We're
learning about tricks.
If someone spends $100 on your product, give them a $200 product. Make them feel...
give more than you receive. Yeah. Fuck, that's my
but you gotta
motto.
Be on time, too.
No, I am on time. I'm always on time.
But I'm always late, too.
Oh, shit, no.
People wait for paintings.
I was shocked you were on time. You were 4 minutes early tonight.
Yeah.
I know that. Without a shadow, that was 4 minutes, and I thought, Jesus, she was early.
Yeah.
I would have been 40 minutes. I am... Like, my anxiety, so I suffer from I suffer from anticipation.
Yeah.
That's why I would never do public speaking. I say I would never do it. I'm getting encouraged to do public speaking, but I don't do it because of the anticipation of it. I'm starting to I used to think I had a fear of reading in public. And then I was, well, that ain't it. I have a fear of speaking in public. And I'm actually starting to understand that because I can stand up and talk to 1,000 people if you didn't call on me. If you call on me, I'm fine. But if you planned it, if I knew that I was speaking tonight, I would never show up. So the anticipation, the waiting. So that's why this podcast is still fun, because there's about 15 minutes into the podcast that I'm like 20% Nathan. Like, I don't know I'm just not there. And then by the time we get to this point, I'm all me. You know, I'm nervous. The anticipation.
I went through that with paint classes. I had this really nervous voice because I used to, whenever I would teach paint classes, it would be in a house, small.
Quivers.
Yes. And I'll be like, hi, my name's Morgan. And I would give a whole introduction about myself. That
had to be the scariest thing.
Yes, I would have a nervous voice. So then now I've learned you don't need to do all that. Just get to it.
You've learned, but you've done it because you practiced the trick.
I practiced the trick. I'm like,
that's
all
the
right,
thing.
if I would rather avoid that step than have every single person stare at me like, all right, I'm about to start the class. And every single person is like,
I seen you up in front of that group, and so that's what it was more than your art. I admired the fact that you overcome some insane fear.
yes.
And I knew that I know you you're a quiet person. You know what I mean? You're kind of introverted, I would say. You know?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah. And then here you are taking on this very extroverted role. And I was sitting there, I was just kind of in awe. Those are the things that when you talk about details, I am a dissector of details. And because I have to understand how people got where they got. And I was just sitting there thinking, wow, man, she really overcome something. And I just really admired that. And and that's what I'm trying to do. So the whole point of this is me overcoming the shit that scares the fuck out of me, which is putting my thoughts into the ether, into the world, and letting other people judge that shit. Or what I really want to do is talk to people, like-minded people, which I know. I am sane enough to know that no one is going to judge me, because any artist feels insecure inherently. Like that's just part of it.
Yeah.
It's a part of you.
That's why when I do my classes and I do like so good, it's almost like a high. Like, wow, I just did that. I taught 40 people how to paint this thing. But it takes so much out of me. And then the next day I'm like,
yeah, wow. I mean, so that's where I would like trail off into the why.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that tonight.
But I enjoy it.
But it's a cycle.
It is a cycle.
Up, down.
So
up,
some
down.
days I've
But
learned.
I think that's healthy, though. I think the secret, though, is to minimize that. You don't want insane highs, because insane highs come with insane lows, and those aren't fucking healthy. I think the secret is to kind of, normal.
Yeah.
Normal.
Then it'll
Like,
go like that.
yeah.
Then you get over your fears. It becomes more natural. It's not like something new. It's like this. I know how to do this. So I can teach a paint class the back of my hand now.
It's funny. So I'd shot a couple music videos, and then this huge opportunity came up for a band that had their first rock video hit 8 million views. and someone from the band reached out to me and was like, love what you're doing. Can you shoot this video for me? And when I seen that, I thought, no. My instinct was, there's no fucking way. This is a rock band. Like, this is a national. They've toured the globe. Mm-hmm. And they wanted me to shoot a video for them.
I think it's fear.
It's certainty. So I have a formula. The how is your potential, action, result, certainty. And I'm not going to go through it tonight, but my certainty wasn't there. And I spent a moment in certainty, that confidence on whether or not I should do it. And then I just stopped and I said, hold on, dumbass. How have you accomplished anything in life? You just did it.
Yeah.
So I called him back and said, yeah, I'll do it, but I'll do it for free. So it took all the pressure off of me in case I failed. But look, even for free, they were flying in to Nashville, a handful of them. Like, it wasn't an easy project. They had to organize this thing. And I had no concept of what we were going to shoot. I come in, I bring in these lights you see, and a handful of cameras. I've never shot a rock video in my life. And I see that we're in a room about the size of this studio. I mean, it was small. And I thought, what the fuck am I going to do with this? The only thing I got to choose was a song. I got to choose a song that I wanted to shoot. And when I heard it, she had told me, the lead singer told me she was a fan of David Fincher, which I was a fan of at the time. And I had thought of like movies like, what was it? With Brad Pitt and, hey, what was it name of the movie? Not Seven, but Fight Club. Fight Club. So there was these colors that I was thinking of. The whole time I was shooting the film, I was thinking of these colors. And basically, I just, in the moment, took what I could latch onto, which was little inspirations from the movie. Have you ever seen Fight Club?
Yeah.
Okay, do you remember how Brad Pitt was like a flicker? Mm-hmm. Do you know what that was?
What?
So he was supposed, fuck it, don't matter. But 24 frames per second, he was one frame. And he would flick in for no reason. And you thought, did I see something? So anyways, I'd come up with these ideas in the moment and said, I can shoot this. I can do that. I thought it was going to completely bomb. I spent somewhere around 80 hours editing this thing.
Wow.
And gave it back to them. The first version, they were like, get rid of the crossfades. We don't like that. And I was like, I like my crossfades.
Yeah.
Anyway, hard cuts. That was key. And I learned so much from that. That video has gone on to almost do 2 million views on YouTube. Do you know how fucking
So you need to be promoting that.
They can promote it.
Well,
Maybe I
work.
should. Maybe I
It's your
should.
work.
Yeah, I know. It blew my mind. Putting myself into that position. Mm-hmm. I think what I was trying to say was just fucking go for it.
Yeah.
And see what happens. And I ended up shooting another huge video for him, and it was successful too, but not as good as the one that I was most scared about. The first one was the best, and it was the most basic. The second one was a bigger production, a lot more people, bigger environment. It wasn't 10%. It was a better video. It was more creative, but there was something about that one that just did well.
Yeah.
It's really weird what people are getting into, but whatever. I don't know what got me on that track, but I don't know. I don't know what got me there.
I don't know.
We like talking about our own shit. That's artists, right? We're very gluttonous for attention, I guess. In a way. We like talking about our own shit. I talk about your shit all the time. I am so proud of those paintings. They're a big part. I mean,
Yeah.
And when I walked in, I thought, she's going to probably complain that it's too low.
Nah.
But it's for the shot. You know, it's for the camera angles.
Yeah,
if you
it
look,
looks good.
do you see how I've like leveled these cameras? If you look close, you're like, that's paper.
Yeah.
Anyways, look, do we have anything else? Do we want to wrap it up?
Well, you can wrap it up.
I think we should, and
Yeah.
then revisit this another time. I think
right.
it was productive, especially for our first time.
Yeah, it was
I
productive.
feel good.
Yeah.
All right, listen. Good night.
All right.
Goodbye. Thank you, Morgan.
Bye.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Fucking awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.